guys, welcome back to another movie review, and today we are reviewing Deadpool and Wolverine. Yes, Deadpool and Wolverine is the newest Marvel MCU movie. It seems like ages since I reviewed a Marvel movie. The last one actually being the Marvels, which is crazy to think actually, because that was a long time ago. It was like one of the videos that I missed, but one of the first movies I did coming back into my channel. I've been coming back to my channel for ages, it feels like. So the fact that we haven't had a Marvel movie for that long is mental. But Deadpool and Wolverine, I went to on the midnight showing, and I have sat on this review for the best part of a week now. It's been about a week, and I've seen some of the responses, so I didn't want to film my review. Not the fact that I'm lazy and I'm just too bad at YouTube nowadays, but the fact that I did want to sit back and reflect on the film itself. My initial reaction to the movie was a 3-star, which I have changed that review, so stay tuned for that in terms of my increased score, because I did increase my score after the fact. But initially, I gave it a 3-star. Now, the movie itself is an interesting one. There's going to be no spoilers in this, but it's a third movie in the Deadpool universe, but also it's the movie that introduces Deadpool to the MCU, with obviously Wolverine, and that being Hugh Jackman. So, you know, Hugh Jackman and Deadpool, all these characters were part of the Fox universe. They did many movies over the years: Daredevil, Elektra, Blade. There was also Fantastic Four movies, but they're all now seen in this Fox universe, which is basically where Deadpool has always been. And now, involving Deadpool into the MCU, they have added things like the TVA to get them to switch timelines and different multiverses and all of that. Yeah, take with that what you will in terms of multiverses and switching studios and all of that. Now, this being the Deadpool movie, this is a Deadpool movie first, and I will say that is a Deadpool movie before being an MCU movie, which is greatly appreciated, because the Deadpool movies have always been known to be very good. I've been bad. I wanted to watch the first 2 Deadpool movies before this, but it didn't really make sense for me, because I just thought this is going to be more focused on the MCU rather than Deadpool's backstory, and I was right. There was a little element of like his backstory which I already knew about, with like the love interest, I guess. And but this movie was really more about getting the Fox timeline into the MCU timeline. There was a lot of Ryan Reynolds humor, which for me personally is not for me. I'm not a fan of Ryan Reynolds humor when he just like does this stuff and then he just turns to the camera and he's just like it's very, I don't know, he just goes through me. I like Ryan Reynolds as a person. I think he is funny a lot of the time and great in other things, but in Deadpool I just found his humor to be, or find his humor to be a bit, it needs to be toned down in my opinion. It's a bit too out there, you know, it's a bit too much for me personally. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's definitely not something for me. One of the biggest disappointments in this film for me was, I think, the script. I think it was quite a dumb story. I think it was quite dull, and say with it what you will and think about what you will, but I get the whole point of just getting them into the different universe. So the decisions that they made sense, but I think I'm more excited for the next Deadpool movie. I think this movie definitely needed to happen in terms of this type of story, in terms of, you know, getting them all in and all of that. But opening up the things like they've done with Wolverine and how they got the Wolverine back, obviously you guys know Logan died in that timeline, so that is something that I'm not going to spoil, but they obviously have got him back somehow. But doing what they did opens up so many different questions and takes away from me the characters that we love, like Black Widow and Iron Man, the ones that have passed, you know, Captain America even. Those characters now, like, theoretically could do the same thing, and it opens up more issues potentially, because, you know, you've seen the news of Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr. coming back, and, well, he's not Iron Man, but, you know, yeah, it's opening up areas that takes away what made I guess, the Infinity Saga really good. You know, the moment of Tony Stark snapping his fingers and I'm Tony Stark and I've always had a heart, or my heart is whatever that thing is. It takes away the emotional stuff for me. So opening up these things and making these decisions is quite risky, because now when you watch Endgame, it's like, well, this doesn't matter, because, you know, in 10 years time they'll just change it and they'll just open up this multiverse thing and do the stuff that they've done with Wolverine, you know. So that was my thing going into it, and you know, it's one of those things at the end of the day. The movie itself, though, I think was shot quite well. It is Sean Levi, or Sean Levi, or whatever his name is, and he is, you know, the continuation director of obviously the first 2 films as well. Ryan Reynolds, you can tell, has a lot of creative control in Deadpool, and he owns a lot of it in terms of everything about the character. Without him, his character wouldn't be the character that it is. The script was great, the script was funny, but for me it wasn't really like a superhero movie that I enjoy. I'm somebody that likes more of the, you know, you're in a cape and you're I'm here to save the day. Like I'm a bit biased. I'm more of a DC fan. I like my DC movies. I don't know why I like more of the fantasy kind of stuff. I always have. But when it gets to this, it was a difficult one. It was a difficult one. 100% though, it's the best movie in the MCU Phase 5 in my opinion. One of anyways. It's definitely back in that heights. So rating the film, I obviously said I gave it a 3-star at the beginning. Well, I upped my score to a 3.5 after the fact. There was enough cameos in the movie that made me happy. All online, obviously, everyone just goes way above and beyond. Like, they weren't going to get certain characters to come back or people to appear as cameos. But the cameos that did happen, I was very pleased with. Very happy to see certain people there. But, you know, it wasn't done too much. It was just, you know, this is like one of those things that I feel like Marvel hasn't had a film all year, but they've ramped up so much marketing in this film that for me, it doesn't hit the heights of that marketing. There's 100% a million better, well, not a million, but you know what I mean. There's loads more films better in the MCU, in my opinion. The entire Guardians like trilogy, for instance, every single one of those Guardians movies is better than Deadpool and Wolverine. I think a lot of people get into the hype of these films, and it is important to take yourself out of that hype and really assess it for what it is. It was a decent Marvel film, definitely not the best, but definitely better than a lot of other ones that we've had, especially recently. So hopefully Marvel's back on this track now, as I touched upon earlier with our Robert Downey Jr. news. Obviously that most people would have seen, but we'll find out. We'll see. Nice to see those people back. Hugh Jackman's script really disappointed me. He just said, "Oh, shut up" or "F off" a lot. You know, he didn't really have much substance really in his story, and I think he was used really as a poster boy. It didn't really feel like he was needed to be there because he was just there, and he was just insulting Deadpool all the time, and Deadpool had way more lines. I actually saw a tweet as well that they said the F word in the movie 118 times, which, yeah, it's a first for the MCU in terms of having an R-rated movie, but yeah. I'm okay with it. 3.5 star, we'll see. Stay tuned though, I'm going to watch the Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2 movies in the next couple of weeks and get those videos up because I'm really interested to watch those. But yeah, thanks for watching guys. Stay tuned for more, and of course, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.